A narcissistic mother hates and despises independency toward their children. They hate it. They hate it. A narcissistic parent fears independency and their children finding it. That's their biggest fear, that you will be able to walk independently without me. And that's why they go to the great lengths to destroy your identity, to destroy your character, to make you feel less than, to destroy your self-esteem so that you will always be psychologically, mentally, emotionally, and even physically dependent upon me, because their ulterior motive is to maintain control and leverage for whatever personal gain that they have. A narcissistic parent, mother or father, hates the word independency, especially when it's tying into their children, and the freedom that their children is trying to walk in. That is the utmost disrespectful thing when you want to go and be independent. You say, why? I'm grown now. This has to do with control and manipulation. If you're independent, what are you going to need me for? So that's why they keep you dependent on them. See, this is psychological. What's the goal of keeping me in bondage? What's the goal of keeping me hindered? And that's when you need to look at them. That's why I say they will weaponize you when it's due to your own independency. But a narcissistic parent have an issue with their children leaving the nest when it's beneficial to them. They have a problem with that. The goal of a parent is to provide the guidance so that you can be an effective adult later on in life. And that does not mean that I need to keep you in bondage physically, mentally, and emotionally. Now, that is a controlling parent. That is someone who is overbearing and they have issues with control. Because the goal is, I'm going to provide for this child, adolescents, through their adolescent years, teach them the morals and values. And when they are older, I need them to go and apply all of those skills. If you walk in that independency, why would you need me? And the goal of keeping you around is for my own pleasure, for my own gain. Whatever their psychological reasoning is to reasoning in them keeping you around, they will continue to minimize your identity, hoping that you never walk in independency of your own. That's the goal of a narcissistic parent. If you want to know the questions related to your parents and why they do the things that they're doing, it's best for you to trace back. It's best for you to start looking at their family dynamics. Take the names and faces out of it. Look how their parents showed up for them. A lot of your answers about your parents will show up in their parenting style and the parents that they had. If you're on a quest to figure out why does my parent act the way they do, I always inform my clients to go back over the family bloodline, to go back over the family dynamics and look at behaviors and characteristics. That is always going to be your leveraging factor when you're trying to figure out why they act the way they act. Because we learned off of model behavior and home environments. This is something that has been a weight on you. This has been a weight on you. Parents don't understand how often children bear the weight of their responsibilities and them not showing and them not being able to show up for them. Parents don't understand that. Your children will bear the weight of your trauma, of your unavailable parenting skills, your narcissistic parenting skills, and you will project that onto them and they will hold that weight as if they're the problem. That's why when you become an adult, you don't understand why you can't break away from them. You know that their behavior is toxic, but you just can't figure out how to break away from them because they're your mom, they're your father. Well, the psychological mind games have been going on since you came out the womb, since you were a child. They have been projected upon you. So that's why it's so hard for you to break away, because you're in a constant battle of, should I stay? Should I go? This is my mom. I should not disrespect my mother. I should obey my parent. But in the same conflicting situation, you know that you're not being treated right. You know that they're controlling. You know that they're malicious. You know they don't have your best interests. So now it becomes less of a them problem and now it becomes a you problem. But they're the main dominating factor. And I often like to look at the dysfunctional narcissistic family as a circus. And you know how when you go to a circus, there's always the ringmaster who's guiding all of this, all of the acts, everything in the circus. He's the ringmaster. I'm in control of all of this. Dysfunctional families often operate like a stage play. That's why I labeled the ringmaster, because a dysfunctional narcissistic family is almost like a stage play, right? There's a director, there's a narrator. And in a dysfunctional narcissistic family, the ringmaster, who I talked about here, orchestrates the entire family dynamic like a carefully curated performance. This person operates in charming, commanding, and toxic calculation. The ringmaster needs complete control and are amazing at splitting family members up for their own personal gain and emotional power. They demand loyalty, obedience, and emotional sacrifice while using gaslighting, guilt tripping, and love bombing tools to manipulate and silence everyone in the family dynamic. The ringmaster thrives on toxic strategy without genuine connection for anyone else. Their care and concern is not for anyone else but them. And in the book, I call them the ringmaster, but that's that dominant narcissistic person in your family. You breaking away is a threat to the dysfunctional family dynamic. You were never supposed to leave. The whole mind perspective of a dysfunctional narcissistic family is we keep each other webbed in this level of toxicity. Everyone has a role in a dysfunctional narcissistic family. Everyone has a role in a normal family dynamic. But you have different roles when it comes to a dysfunctional narcissistic family. If you got this book, I break the roles down. I break them down, okay? And the person that's often puppeting all of the behavior in a dysfunctional narcissistic family is the ringmaster. And the ringmaster is the dominant narcissistic person in the family dynamic. They have all of the leverage and control. Think about your family right now. Think about your family. For one moment, think about your family. There's that one person who is controlling the narrative and puppeteering the whole masquerade. There's one person in that family dynamic. In a narcissistic dysfunctional family, peace is never the goal. We live in dysfunction, we live in chaos. Peace is something that is foreign to us. We may appear to be peaceful. The foundation is built on toxicity and dysfunctionalism. That's the core values of a dysfunctional narcissistic family. We don't know what balance is. We don't know what peace is. We do not know what those things are, because it's not a foundational factor in this family dynamic. That's why when you try to bring conflict resolution, it always turns in chaos. They know the repercussions of that. When you're the one that they're targeting, I understand what you're going through as the enabler. I understand what you're going through as the golden child, but I don't want that wrath on me. So in this case, I am not going to take up for you. I am not going to stand up for you with you being the black sheep and advocate for you, because I don't want that wrath to come upon me from that dominant narcissistic person in the family. I don't want them to start attacking me, and I'm sorry, I can't be here for you. That's why they won't say anything. They'll minimize the behavior. They will agree with you behind closed doors, but they will not agree with you openly when it's time to acknowledge the toxic behavior. And they will have amnesia as if those things did not happen. The family dynamic is obsessed with the fact of everyone playing their role. Everyone has to play their role in order for the narcissistic dysfunctional family to be successful. Success to a dysfunctional narcissistic family is no one ever supersedes anyone in the family, especially the ringmaster, who's dominating and controlling the narrative for everyone in the family. That's success. Dependency on the ringmaster or dependency on the primary dysfunctional, narcissistic person in that family dynamic.